Hello guys, I'm just doing a review of the 48 Laws of Power, which is, this book right here. Finished this book. It was a very interesting read. I mean, I didn't think about all of these things that have happened that have happened in history, throughout history. Um, the book really talks about how if the whole world is a game or like an aristocratic court and it's a game of power, opting out of the game isn't really an option because you will end up being miserable your whole life and you'll never accomplish the goals that you want because you're always, you don't want to play the game. You think that everyone can be treated fairly but they can't because at some point you'll realize that some people do things better than others. So you can't treat everyone fair and equal. There's no equality in nature. Like, it doesn't work like that. It's not real life. So you come to understand those things, and then you come to realize that some people, it's actually a way of power because if you're able to control who's successful and who's not, then you can redistribute the rewards for something that you ask someone to do. But whatever. There's 48 laws in this book. Um, the ones I took the most literal. Probably law number one: never outshine the master. Never outshine the master, because imagine you have a boss and you're an employee. You outshine the boss. Now, that means you're probably not going to get that promotion that you wanted, that you were craving and that you wanted before. You're you're going to be, yeah, you want to get that promotion, but you keep not following your boss's orders and trying to take away his power, that's going to kind of slow you down a little bit. So it teaches you how to manipulate situations to your own advantage, use people against each other. It's just really interesting. You guys really need to read this book. Like, it's an eye opener. Really, it truly is an eye opener. It also teaches you about how friends and enemies, you can never trust. Well, also there's another law that says never trust anyone completely. No, never ever trust anybody completely. Never. You can never have someone else have that much power ever in your life. You can never let someone have that much power where you tell them everything. No. But yeah. It tells you also how you can use your enemies to your advantage more than friends. Friends are not as useful as people think. Enemies are actually more useful because they have more to prove. Because they know that you don't trust them all the way, so they have more to prove, which means they're going to do more things to gain your trust, and they're more trustworthy because they have more to prove. So they have to show and prove more. That's a sign of loyalty. You get them to do more things for you, and often, when you reach out to friends, they don't always have the skill set to help you with what you're dealing with. So you can't really get help from friends. So if you're here to work, we're not here to make friends on this planet, man. We're here to work and build a legacy. Um, man, uh, teaches you a lot of things, and you start to see things for what they are instead of what you think it should be. Also, that's another thing. Would I recommend you guys to read this book? Yeah, I would recommend too many people reading the book is bad for the people that have read the book. Yeah, so I'd recommend you buy it because I think it's a really powerful book. But I get it. Some people are just not gonna read books because they don't have the patience to go through a book this long. But this shit ain't even that long, really. It's like what, 48 laws, and each law talks about applications of real life use. Each law talks about the pitfalls, the advantages, disadvantages. He tells you historical examples of what's happened in the past so you can learn from that shit. Like, and then it tells you what has happened before in the past, and it also teaches you about looking at your past mistakes and telling yourself that you swear and making yourself have an oath to yourself that you'll never do those things again, that you'll learn from those mistakes. And it also teaches you never to bear grudges because that'll hinder your progress to power. Never bear grudges with other people because it's gonna get in your way of acquiring power. It's gonna get in your way of acquiring power. Like bearing grudges for the rest of your life, probably not the best way to accomplish goals. There's interpretations, keys to power, interpretations in every single chapter, every single power, like law that you need to know. And also, there's something I found really funny that the author said in the beginning of the preface of the on the preface. He says that if you're not if you're not willing to like really have the patience to read this book all the way throughout the book and study it very well, or if you're just using it for entertainment, then it's better to just go back and not read this book at all because you know apparently he has this indignation that God is behind all this, but he says that God will punish those who don't. What did he say again? Let's see. Uh, yeah, the gods of power frown on the frivolous. They give ultimate satisfaction only to those who study and reflect and punish those who skim the surfaces looking for a good time. So, if you're trying to be entertained by this book, that's the only reason you're reading this book, then you best not read it at all because, you know, once you realize that this is a game of power, the sooner you realize it, the sooner you're gonna understand that shit. Because whether you like it or not, everyone else is playing this game of power. You opting out of the game is only gonna hurt you and in the long term and in the short term. So if it's a game you're playing with someone else, and you can't use emotions to dictate your decisions. Understand that you're gonna have emotions, but never let them dictate your strategy or what you're gonna do in the future or your tactics. Always use logic. Like don't use your emotions to make a decision. That's also another thing. It's very good if you understand. Like I mean, some people this book's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you probably won't like this book because you feel it's immoral or it's evil, but the sooner you understand that everybody is playing this game of life and that there's gonna be people that you have to look out for, people that you're gonna have to use for a particular situation, or you're gonna have to do things for people that you don't think are necessarily up to your moral standards, but you got to do those things to get to where you want to be in life. Yeah, it's very much an eye opener too. Like um and making yeah, be bold too. Don't hesitate. If you hesitate before you make an action, it's you best not do it. Don't even do the action that you were thinking about doing because you're hesitating. Don't forget about it. Don't even do it, dude, because you're gonna fuck it up. You're gonna fuck it up completely. If you're hesitating about something, don't probably don't want to do it. Then just let it go. Don't do it. If you're hesitating, don't do it. Man. You gotta be sure about what you're doing. You gotta be 100% certain that you know what you're doing right now at that particular time. Can't hesitate. What the fuck are you hesitating for? But anyways, that's all I gotta say. This is my book review of 48 Laws of Power. I'm out.